Hello and welcome to the official press conference for another heavyweight showdown. And of course, in this fight, we will see the undefeated Australian heavyweight champion Justis Huni take on Paul Gallen, also undefeated, who is fresh off his first round defeat of Lucas Browne. We're joined here today by both of the main event fighters and their teams, as well as the promoter and some of the undercard as well. Ben Damon is my name from Main Event Television. We're excited today to announce that this fight will take place live here at the ICC at Darling Harbour in Sydney on a Wednesday night, the 16th of June. You'll see it, of course, live on Main Events, and that will be available via Foxtel and KO. This event is brought to you by D&L Promotions, and Dean Lonergan has joined us from there. Dean, firstly, a couple of questions to you. How difficult was it to make this fight happen? How difficult, essentially, to get Paul Gallen in the ring with Justis Huni?
It's not that hard. You just got to turn up with a Brambles truck or two. It's pretty simple, really. Like we released Lucas Browne. I had Lucas Browne signed to a 2-fight contract to fight a warm-up fight against Arsene Fosso down in Canberra, and then a fight against Justis Huni. Paul was looking for a fight, I think it was about March, April, when Robert Whittaker couldn't do it. So we released Lucas, as the first part of his contract to fight Paul. I went to that fight in Wollongong and could not believe the outcome when Paul managed to knock Lucas Browne out. And I left that fight quite stunned, to be honest, but I heard on the telecast afterwards, Paul was saying, well, Dino, come and have a chat and, bring me a truckload of cash. So that's what we did. Liam and myself, my son, we put together a proposal to Paul, and a week and a half later we turned up at his place and says, mate, here's what we'd like to do. We'd like not to do one fight, we'd like to do 2 fights. And the reason is very simple, is in my opinion, there is nobody in the world of boxing, full stop, with the exception of maybe Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, who can bring the level of media attention to the table for Justis Huni, who is obviously my fighter. And we need to put Justis on the map, and Paul allows us the vehicle to do that. And you'll see a lot of banter backwards and forwards between Paul and myself and Justis and what have you in the media. But at the end of the day, this is it's a good deal for Paul. It's a good deal for us. Everyone gets out of it what they want. And we wanted to do it twice for the simple fact that, we can't get the media out of anyone else that Paul brings to the table. And as a result, Paul's going to get belted twice.
You've been pretty outspoken about that, Dean. You don't seem to give Paul Gallen much of a chance. Is that fair?
Paul's got less chance of winning any one of these fights than what he had as captain of State of Origin against Queensland. I think once in eight or nine Origins they won. Well, he's got way less chance than that, I can tell you. I watched Justis Huni spar today. It's the first time I've seen Justis spar close up for quite some time. He's gone to another level. And I've got to tell you, Paul's in a whole world of pain. He's moving away from... And I gave Paul Gallen his first fight, going back to Fight for Life days in New Zealand a long time ago, and he started the journey back then. And I would say that Paul has been, and this is no disrespect to Paul, but he's been in the entertainment/circus fighting game. Now he's moving into the hurt game, and it's a whole different ball game. And Justis is going to inflict a lot of hurt, and he's going to find out what it's like with a real boxer. And I take my hat off to him for what he's done so far. I've got nothing but enormous respect. He works. I've never seen a man work so hard, both physically at what he does and also out of boxing. He's got a huge amount of work on with Channel 9 and Triple M. And he does a huge amount of work, and he coaches his kids, and he's a very, very busy man. But at the end of the day, we're in the boxing business, and at this level, we're in the hurting business. And this is where Paul's going to find out that he's taken a step too far. And no amount of money, and he is going to make a lot of money, and good on him, but no amount of money will take the fear out of his stomach that he feels walking into the ring with this beast beside me. Because I'm telling you, this kid can really fight.
So is it your thinking that he's just here to get the payday and get bashed?
The answer is, on a number of occasions, Paul Gallen has said, I'm here for the money, I'm a prize fighter. And he is. He's probably the best prize fighter this country's ever seen. And he gets paid money because he generates money. And in the fight business is very simple. The more money you generate, the more money you get paid. And Paul's exceptional at driving media. Media drives pay-per-view sales, media drives sponsorship, media drives GA sales. And as a result, financially, he's on the A side of this card. But we get out of it. Justis Huni is going to be one of the most famous kids in this country. They come, sort of August, September, after he beats Paul in the first fight, after he wins a gold at the Olympics, and after Paul nominates to go again, because he can't make this money anywhere else. And I've read on a number of occasions, Paul doesn't need this money, and he's been very successful. Paul wants this money, and he wants it like no man I've ever seen before, and good luck to him. We're going to give it to him, but he's just got to get belted for it.
Dean, where does this rank as a promoter? You've been involved in so many massive events, but now with your next star against this mainstream talent that is Paul Gallen, where does this rank for you?
I haven't been this excited about a fight since Jeff Horn fought Manny Pacquiao. One of the reasons you do this, and one of the reasons my guys do this, is that they want to show off their skills. And Paul brings to the table an absolutely enormous media attention, firstly from New South Wales and from Queensland media. And as I said, I don't think I can get anyone who brings the media to the table as much as Paul outside of Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Hence, we want to do this twice. And I'm very, very excited about the event. I know that I'm very, very confident in Justis' ability to do what Justis says he's going to do and what we think he will do. But also, after the Lucas Brown, I have to say, debacle, you know, where Lucas just didn't stand up. This is now boxing versus rugby league. And, you know, Paul's come through and he's done an amazing job with what he's done, but we need Justis to step up to the plate and knock him out, and that's what's going to happen.
Tell us a little bit about this undercard, because we've got two of those fighters down the front. We also have the supremely talented Brock Jarvis as well. What should we expect on this undercard? Look,
really excited about the undercard. We're beaming back into New Zealand with this fight, and on my left down here is Andre Mikhailovic. Andre is a fighter out of New Zealand, 15-0. He's got a very interesting backstory, and what's quite interesting is we've got another Kiwi on the card who lives here in Sydney, and Alex Hannon, who I believe is 13-0. So in that particular fight, someone has got to go. I know for a fact there's a lot of bad blood between these two in the front of us, and as a result, they're sitting a long way apart. And of course, we've got the world-class Brock Jarvis, who is, we're on the verge of a world title fight right now. You know, I've been in negotiations and discussions with Bob Arum about getting Emmanuel Navarrete down here, or one of his heavier guys. And Brock's in the middle of working out exactly where he sits from a weight perspective. And of course, he's trained by Jeff Fennick, one of the greatest Australian fighter, full stop, one of the all-time greats globally, and probably, without doubt, one of the best trainer managers I've ever dealt with. And really looking forward to getting Brocky on the card. We had him lined up for the Australian title at Super Feather with TC Priestley. Unfortunately, TC's got a broken hand, or he's got ligament damage in his hand, and we can't get him on the card. So at the moment, our matchmaker Stu Duncan is trolling Australia and New Zealand to get a suitable fight. The problem with Brocky is he's so damn good that to get him a meaningful fight is very difficult.
Okay, thank you very much, Dean Lonergan from DNL Events. He's the promoter of this event. We'll talk to some of those fighters on this undercard. We'll start down at the front here. Alex Hannon is 13-0 with 7 KOs. And as we heard, he will, on this event, fight Andre Mikhailovic, with someone's O having to go. Alex, welcome. Exciting to see you on this card. What does an opportunity like this mean to you?
Hey guys, thanks for having me today. You know, just like to say, I must thank the DNL Events for putting on the show for myself and Andre to put on a show for you guys. And, you know, this is now my time. And, you know, I've trained my whole life for this. And, you know, when Billy told me that, my coach told me I had this fight, he said, you know, do you want to, and I was chomping at the bit to get it. So, you know, just chasing this now, and whatever happens, happens, brother. And, you know, my O's not going to go. So, you know how it goes, motherfucker.
Is it a surprise to you that you've had to come across the Tasman here to Australia, 2 Kiwis, to have this fight, which clearly has a lot of meaning for the pair of you?
He sounds nervous, so you should just shut the fuck up and just sit there. Shut up.
What?
You're not a fighter, right? You're not. Not right now. You're not on this card. Hey, what's your name, boss? What's your name, boss? Wait.
All right, mate.
Daddy.
From the audience, we might just keep it up here for now. And Alex, if you could just have a chat about your opponent and what sort of a challenge he presents to you.
Yeah, but like, I respect what he's done, but as a person, though, you can't respect him, man. He's a chump, motherfucker, and you know.
You're a child.
We're gonna expose him.
I am your dad. I have 2 kids, and you can be my foster son.
Yeah,
you are my foster son. You can call me Daddy Dre, and you can be Baby Ali.
Bring
Ali
your
boy.
goggles, 'cause I'm dragging you to fucking deep waters, brother.
You know what your issue is, right? Is you talk all this shit, but you're like, thanks for the opportunity. Shh, calm down. Look, honestly, bro, no, you know what it is. You know what it is, bro. It's like you 13-0, I'm 15-0. It's gonna be a hell of a fight, right? You can agree on that. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun. But he says his O is not gonna go. But you're fucking with the Russian. I'm the Russian. You know, it's.
Yeah, you ain't a Kiwi, brother. So fuck, you ain't a Kiwi, so I don't know why you're coming over here acting, taking the Kiwi flag, brother. You're fucking mutt as well you are.
Okay, first of all, you need to watch your language.
What? Yeah, and what?
You need to watch your language.
What about it?
Okay? I'll fuck you up.
Let's go.
All right, fellas, we are live on television just at the moment. If we could watch the language, but I'll get a final word from Andrei Mikhailovich, who we have just met. He's 15-0 with 8 KOs and fighting against this man, Alex Hannon. Where does all this bad blood come from, Andre?
I don't know. He just talks a lot of shit, really. And look, I talk shit too. It's a part of the game, right? But he talks a lot of shit. I'm just going to go in there and bash his head, and that's it. There's got nothing more to it.
Okay, thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing those two in action. Cannot wait for that. We might take the microphones away from him if we could before we move up to the top table here. And he needs no introduction at this stage in Australian boxing, but he's 19-0 with 17 KOs and is world ranked. Brock Jarvis is going to be on this card, according to Dean Lonergan. Brock, be looking forward to seeing these two in action, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great card, again, put together by Dean Lonergan, and looking forward to it.
We saw you most recently in action in Canberra, taking on Nort Beauchamp. Another very impressive performance. How did you pull up after that?
Yeah, pulled up good. Just on to the next, I guess, yeah.
And we do wait and find out what happens with that next fight and who the opponent will be. But I did see overnight some comments by promoter Eddie Hearn in the UK and others talking about where you're at in world boxing at the moment. It must be exciting for you to be getting those sorts of accolades at this stage.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. You know, Eddie Hearn's a massive promoter, so, you know, it's exciting for me and my team. So, you know, we'll just keep working hard and wait for that opportunity.
And what do you think about this main event between Justis Huni and Paul Gallen?
Look, I think it's a great fight. Both great fighters, and look, yeah, it's going to be a great fight.
Okay, that is Brock Jarvis. We hope to see him on this undercard, and to his immediate right is the greatest ever to do it from this part of the world, the legendary Jeff Fennick. Jeff, bit of banter down the front. You're looking forward to seeing those two boys in action?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy that Brock lets his fist to the talking, which is what I'm all about. But look, the world of boxing's changed today, and you know, social media and this slagging and talking, you know, I don't know, it never happened in my day. Like I said, I tried my best just to avoid my opponent until we shook hands prior to the fight, and we don't have business in the ring. But like I said, this seems like these two guys got enormous grudges, but all I'm worried about, like I said, you mentioned some great news. Eddie Hearn's rang me over the last few weeks and told me how excited or how great a fighter that he thinks Brock is. So getting that coming from Eddie and is a real big plus for us. And obviously the world are watching Brock at the moment. So look, we're just taking it one step at a time, and we're just blessed to be here on this card and to be in the presence of everybody that's here today. We're both very, very honoured and pleasure to be here.
Brock's 19-0 at this point, world ranked, and Dean Lonergan's just mentioned that he's hoping to bring a world title fight potentially here to Australia. Do you think Brock is ready for those sorts of fights?
Yeah, definitely so. It's all about preparation, and at the moment, our preparations have all been mixed up. We don't get too regular sparring, so we're working hard on maybe trying to bring somebody from overseas and a few other people from interstate to spend time with us to train. But look, I have no doubt that with a good preparation and time to know what we're doing, that Brock can be a future world champion and fly the Australian flag the same way as I did, Billy did, and all the other great Australian fighters ever in the past. He's a kid who works really, really hard, and hard work, you know, gets you a certain amount of the way, and then it's everything else. So he's got a good mix and a great balance, got a great team around him, great group, and we're very, very excited.
For those who haven't seen Brock Jarvis fight, what should they expect to see when they do see him walk out to the ring?
No, I think he's somebody he reminds me very much of myself. He's a really exciting fighter, throws punches for the entire round. You know, people talk about fights, and I don't know if we watched the Canelo's last fight. I don't know if he landed 20 punches in 8 rounds. Brock usually does that 3 times in a round. He'll land 50, 60 punches a round easily. So, I mean, like I said, boxing changed today, and I just know that I'm in the presence here again of somebody who I admire who's a trainer, Billy Hussein and Skinny Hussein, guys who I grew up with and trained and worked with, and I know they've got the same work ethic as me. So it's great to be in their presence and have them in the room with us. But like I said, they know Brock's getting better and better. Everybody's seen Brock as a 17 or 18-year-old, this little skinny kid, and they don't realise the improvement that he's had every fight and every training session. So I'm really excited that I know that every time there's a step up, Brock will be able to step up. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever about that.
Fascinated to hear what you think about this main event. Justis Huni, the undefeated Australian heavyweight champion at 22 years of age, and Paul Gallen, who we've all seen as a main event fighter in recent times. What do you think happens between these two?
Yeah, well, the guy closest to my right hand is most probably one of the most skilled guys I've seen in boxing for a long, long time. I remember when I first seen Jai Patel, I thought the same thing, and this Justis has got amazing skill set. But like I said, I think Paul Gallen gave me the biggest kick in the guts I ever got in his last fight, because I thought maybe even an underdone Lucas Brown had the skill and ability to do some things that might have upset him. But Gal's iron-willed, believes in himself, and when you've got that and you train hard, it's a great combination. And then on top of that, I've got to say that Brock and I are sitting on this stage because you, Gal, and we thank you, mate, because you have had a lot of detractors out there about you and football and boxing, but you've put boxing back in the headlights for all the right reasons. We thank you, and I just hope it's a great competitive fight. And like I said, you got a huge test this time, like I said, because Justis is one of the most skilled guys I've seen. But like I said, I also had lots of those thoughts, thinking that Lucas could do certain things, and you stopped him in round one by like I said, your sheer willpower and your mental toughness. Forget the heart. Everybody's got the same size heart. It's what you bring in the ring, your mental capacity is unmatched. So it's going to be a tough fight for Justis. It's going to be a real tough night. But I'm sure they'll both be prepared, but I can't wait to see what happens. But I wouldn't be surprised if I'm surprised again.
Thank you very much. The great Jeff Fennick, who's joined us here today in his capacity of trainer of Brock Jarvis. And now we go to that main event. And firstly, the trainer and father of Justis Huni is Rocky. Rocky Huni, your son's about to get into a ring with Paul Gallen. You just saw Paul Gallen knock out Lucas Brown in a round. Do you have any concerns?
Look, is that on? Yeah, that last fight with Brown was, I was impressed. We were both impressed. Justis and I were watching the fight at home, and definitely shocked at the outcome. But like I said, as soon as Justis seen that knockout, pretty much said, "Dad, I don't want to fight Brown." He looked straight at Gallen. Got the call up from Dean that night, and we're here.
And why was that? Did he see something in what Paul did, or just because of the stage that could be set?
No, look, we just come off a fight with Jack Morris, I think his name was, and a lot of people were complaining about his skill set. But you got to remember, Justis, they both went into the fight both 2-0. We haven't seen much of Jack Morris. It wasn't. Everyone thinks that Justis knew about that fight or who he was going to fight. Justis didn't know who he was fighting to the last minute. We took on the fight. Obviously, it was a lot easier than what we thought. We just needed someone to challenge us. With Gal, I know everyone disrespects him, but like Jeff said, he trains hard, he's motivated, and we believe that he'll be a good fight.
It's a grueling schedule that you've set for your son. Not only does he have this fight coming up on June 16, but 8 days from now, here at this venue, he's got another fight against Christian Zoy, and then he's off to the Olympic Games. Why so many fights, and why is he so busy?
All these fights, it's a lead up really just for the Olympics, and it wasn't supposed to happen like 3 weeks apart. Obviously, the fight was supposed to happen in July, but I think Boxing Australia has some concerns with Justis when we got hurt, injured in that fight, and it was too close, so we put it back to the 16th. Otherwise, it would have been 6 weeks apart, and that's the only reason.
And what's the biggest goal for you and Justis this year? Is it beating Paul Gallen, or is it Olympic gold?
The biggest goal for us is the Olympics. only because it's a dream that he's had since he was 7 years old. And look, Gallen is, you know, one of the legends. I respect him as a footballer, as a person. I haven't met him formally until today, but yeah, he seems like a nice guy. It's nothing against Gallen. He's a footballer. Justis is a boxer. They're completely two different things. He hasn't fought an actual boxer. Like, in Gallen's own words, there's no one on Gallen's list that I wouldn't put Justis up against.
Thank you very much to Rocky Huni, the father and trainer of Justis Huni, and that's where we go now. He is the Australian heavyweight champion, 3-0 with 3 stoppage victories, as we heard. He has a fight coming up in 8 days. Then 3 weeks after that, he'll be taking on this man, Paul Gallen. Then he is a genuine gold medal chance at the Tokyo Olympic Games. We've all been super impressed with what we've seen so far to make history by winning the Australian heavyweight title on debut. But now, Justis, you must feel like you've really hit the big stage here against a mainstream star on a show like this.
Yeah, look, very exciting for me. I've got a big few months coming up, and I'm just going to tick off the fighters one by one.
Why Paul Gallen? You saw the fight, as we've just mentioned, between Gallen and Lucas Brown, and turned straight away and said that you wanted to fight him. Why was that?
He's an exciting fighter, and he brings a lot of eyes, like he says. He brings a lot of eyes to the boxing scene, which is awesome for boxing, especially heavyweight boxing in this country. It's starting to really heat up. So, yeah, it's the perfect fight for me before I head off to the Olympics.
Were you surprised when Dean Lonergan told you he was able to make this fight? He was able to get Paul Gallen into the ring with you?
You know, not really. Like Dean can do some stuff. He pulls some strings, like that, which is why he's my promoter. So yeah, I'm just happy and blessed to be sitting here today and to have these next couple of fights coming up.
What do you think happens in this fight? We saw what Paul did to Lucas Brown, charging across the ring and managing to hit him with big shots. What do you think stylistically will happen in this fight?
Gal hasn't versed anyone like me that can box like me and has the footwork like I do. So yeah, I think it's going to be a shock for him, especially my speed, accuracy. Yeah, it's going to be a tough challenge for him. I'm just going to stay long and outbox him.
Your promoter has done some tough talking about what will happen in the ring and how it's going to finish up. What are your predictions for the end of this fight?
Yeah, look, I'm just trying to go out there and show everyone what I can do. I'm just going to go out there and box. And hopefully, yeah, I'm just going to break Gallen down. And yeah, hopefully the stoppage comes. Gallen's tough, so just see what happens on the night.
Okay, that is Justis Huni, and takes us to Paul Gallen, 11-0 with 1 draw and 6 stoppages. And of course, we've seen him come off a couple of massive wins, beating a combat sports legend in Mark Hunt and also the first round stoppage against Lucas Brown. And now, Gal, you're stepping up against the Australian heavyweight champion. A lot has been said about you at this table and you've kept quiet. Is there anything you want to respond to?
Well, I am fighting Justis. I'm not fighting you, Dean. So just remember that. God, I think he wants to fight me sometimes the way he's carrying on, the way he talks. I appreciate the words of everyone, and I think that's one thing I've said from the start. I'm happy to help out Australian boxing. We've seen it, Liam Wilson in the last fight. Obviously, Tim Tszyu has become with a pretty good name, but look at him now, and I'm happy to try and get this bloke, Justis Huni, as much promotion as we can get. But rest assured, Justis, Dean, everyone here, I'm not coming just to give him promotion. I'm not coming here just to give him publicity. I'm coming here to win. And you know, I know Jeff. Me and Jeff have a relationship. He knows me. I know he does care for me a little bit. And he did come to me about the Lucas Brown fight and was concerned. He spoke to me openly and a little bit concerned. And I said, Jeff, I'll be okay. And I surprised him there. Look, I know deep down he thinks Justis will win, but I'm here, as he said, to surprise him and everyone again. And mate, I train my backside off. I work hard. I get in the ring mentally prepared. Justis, yeah, I haven't faced no one like Justis before. I totally agree with that. I haven't faced someone of his speed, his talent. I agree with that. But he hasn't faced no one like me either, I can promise you that. I've been a professional athlete for over 20 years. And there's a reason I've been a professional athlete for over 20 years. That's a preparation that I do. And when I get in there, I'm going to be 100% prepared. and I'm going to give him something he hasn't seen before either.
What's been the reaction from people to you saying that you're going to take this fight? A lot of people surprised that you would step to this level, that you would fight against a fighter with that sort of amateur pedigree. What have people said to you?
Everyone's been surprised me the last couple of fights, man. When I took the Hunt fight, everyone said I was literally going to die. Got through that one okay. People pretty much said the same thing about the Lucas Brown fight. I got through that one. And people saying the same thing about the Justis Huni fight. So nothing much has changed. I've continued to surprise everyone on the way. Man, I'm a professional athlete. I've been for over 20 years. And while the money is good and I'm a prize fighter, I've said that from day one, at the end of the day, you want to be pushed and you want to be challenged. There's nothing better than taking on the Australian prodigy of boxing. You know, probably the most skillful boxer in Australia at the moment. There's no better challenge for myself than to go there and have a crack. And that's all I've said from day one. I'm about having a go. I'm about having a crack. I'm about trying to set a good example for what you should do. I mean, this is the thing that gets me about life in general. You teach your kids to walk. They fall down. You teach them to get back up. Come on, have a go, have a go. You teach a kid to ride a bike. You know, they fall over. You tell them to get back up and have a go. When you become an adult, all you do is hang shit on people and have a go at people. Go home and get on your mobile phone and get on your computer and have a go at people having a crack. It's a joke. So I'm here to try and get that out of people's mentality and you know, try to just set a bit of a good example of what we should do. And that's just getting out there and having a dead set go. And if I win, I win, which I have done nothing but win so far. And if you lose, you lose. You get up, brush yourself off, and you go again. That's my attitude. It's my attitude in life. It's my attitude in my rugby league career. It's my attitude in boxing right now. And as I said, I'll be well prepared to get this fight done on the 16th of June.
The promoter says that you're getting paid a lot of money just to come here and get bashed. How important is the money to you?
Oh, look, mate, I've got money. I've been, I keep saying, I've been a professional athlete for over 20 years. I don't need money. I've got a great job. I've got 2 or 3 good jobs. It's not like I'm hanging out for it, you know. So it doesn't worry me. As I said, the most important thing is I'm getting the money and I'm getting pushed and I'm getting pressed. I'm having to go. That's the most important thing for me. And when I win this fight and shock everyone again, that's going to be the most pleasing thing for me. And when I get the paycheck at the end of it, that's going to be even better.
You will have watched Justis's 3 professional fights. I don't know if you've seen any of his amateur boxing. What have you made of what you've seen?
Very good, very impressed. Skillful, fast like a heavyweight I've never seen before. But, you know, look, I don't want to get involved in trash talk of this fight, something I'm going to try not to do. Me and Mark Hunt never trash talk, and we sold a huge amount of numbers, 11,000 people at the venue and tens of thousands of pay-per-view numbers. Me and Lucas Brown was a different story, but look, I researched my opponents. I know what they've done. Look, his last fight was a joke. They shouldn't have had that fight. Whether it was his fight or not, he shouldn't have had that fight. His first 2 fights were good fights. You know, they were really good fights. Django was really good on. I thought Django could have gone a little bit more early. Even up until the 3rd or 4th round, I thought Django was going pretty good against him. Obviously, 5 and 6, 6th and 7th round got caught a few too many times, and the fight had to be stopped. But Justis, I know a little bit about his pedigree coming through as an amateur as well, and Justis has quit. Justis has stopped before. He's been to finals and not fought in the final. He's walked off. And once you quit in life, it's in you. It's always in you somewhere. And at some stage on this night, I'm going to make him quit. That's the thing. I think it's a walkover. It's called a walkover. So he's got to the final of a world event. I think he was supposed to face a Russian, was one, and he walked off. He walked off, didn't face him. Now, I don't know if everyone knows that, but once you've got that in you, it's always in you somewhere. It's very hard to get rid of. And I'm going to try and find that on the 16th.
Thank you very much, Paul Gallen. We should get a response from Justis Huni to that.
I think he had a sore stomach was the reason.
Do you want to give us a response?
No, I've got nothing to say. I'll just let my actions do the talking.
Okay, well, this is our main event between Paul Gallen and Justis Huni. We'll get the 2 main event fighters to face off here at the back while the others leave the stage. And as mentioned, you'll see this fight here at the ICC, the Aware Super Theatre at Darling Harbour in Sydney on a Wednesday night, June the 16th. You can hold the belt. Live on main event television, you can order via Foxtel or KO. And you're going to see these 2 undefeated heavyweights do battle, Justis Huni and Paul Gallen. Face each other, boys. It is Paul Gallen and Justis Huni. That's been our official press conference to launch this event. Thanks so much for your company. I'm Ben Damon. I'll see you at the fights.